look. He still had a few opportunities, just came up a few plays short. Namely, I think the BTJ drop was huge on that 3rd and 5 there at that critical moment in the game. The Travis Hunter, although they scored, and these are coachable plays, the offside necessarily didn't hurt. But again, you talk about momentum, time, etc. Because if you score there, you have more time. Give yourself an opportunity on the back end. So just one of those games, man, you got to go look at. You got to own it. You got to understand that this should be a lesson over a loss. So not necessarily a loss, or don't make it as big as it is, or it can be. But I just take these lessons because on paper, and I'm mumbling.
No,
but on paper,
no, you're not.
On paper it shows 7 sacks, but I would say 6 by the offensive line due to being out physical and outplayed. And one of them, much like a week ago at the end of the game versus the Chiefs, Trevor has to have the awareness to, when you're out of the box, just throw the ball out of bounds. Throw it away.
Right.
Don't just say, okay, here's a sack, and now you're behind the sticks to begin the game. So those little things.
Fred, they've been the more physical team for the first 5 games at 4-1. So is it fair to be confident that this is just a one-off and they were flat, whatever cliche phrase, they're not one size fit all, but it was just like they just weren't up for this, and this is a one-off and it's not a precursor?
Jeff, I would like to see that it was a one-off. I would like to hope that it's a one-off. You never know, right? Because as soon as you look up, you're going to play a team as physical as the Seahawks and the Rams over in London. If you're not, look, that defense in front, they're for real. So you have a chance to prove that it's not a one-off immediately. So we'll see, man. I mean, it's only a few days away, and we'll see how it goes.
I have a question for you, Fred. Liam Cohen said after the game, it's on me as far as the offense, as far as
penalties.
The penalties and such. And, they've tried a bunch of different things to eliminate. They have, I think, 52 penalties in 6 games. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think at some point, listen, guys, we've been doing this for a long time now. This offense, we should know this inside and out. And little things like lining up correctly, we've got to do that right, or we get, we're getting burned.
It caught up with them yesterday.
Yeah,
they've overcome it in the other games.
Shouldn't the fellas know pretty much at this point? I mean, can you look? I understand sometimes they're penalties. I get it, and there's sometimes they're aggressive penalties, which I also get. But the mental ones are the ones that I think frustrate most of us.
Yeah, you would expect that. 6 games in, that the guys would understand by now. Like, these are the do's and the don'ts. And, the effort penalties are usually okay. We had a few holdings in there. We had a few, they didn't call them false starts. They called false start on Trevor yesterday, but 2 of the, on Harrison were were they on Harrison or Cleveland?
It was on Anton Harrison lined up too far back.
Yeah. So those types, but pressure
and
do that.
Fred, he was having a bad day, right? He was having a bad day, so maybe he's like, okay, I got to get a better.
I got to get a bit of a head start here.
Yeah.
So and that comes along with pressure, man. And the game is so tough. But again, these guys get paid the big bucks to step up in the face of it. But I don't know, but he's just an amazing coach. I think what he's saying is, look, I got to be better at, making sure they're prepared and that they understand how these things can affect us. As he said, look, we left a lot on the bone after the Chiefs game. So just to even make that statement, he was just trying to get the guys to understand that, there are ways to win. Like, we want to go from good to great. I want you to recognize that there are ways to win and not just be satisfied with winning. Like, you belong here. Now let's go and dominate. Let's go and be great. Just those little things and pushing the right buttons and taking ownership. So I would hope that the players would rally around him and say, nah, coach, it ain't on you.
Yeah.
We're out there playing. Like, you do your job, we're going to do our job.
Right.
We got to be better. So I'm just hoping it's, that sort of marriage.
The offensive line did not have a good day. We've chronicled that. But and our defense was okay. I mean, they gave up big plays. Only gave up 20 points, 23 points. But really, like 4 or 5 plays got them. But one thing that we're not doing at all on defense is getting sacks. I mean, we got 8 sacks in 6 games. 8. And I think it's tough I think Trayvon plays with his hands a lot, so I think it's tough with that big club on his hand. So we'll see how that goes for a couple of weeks. I hope he gets that thing off soon because I think that hampers him a little bit. But we're not getting any production at all in terms of sacks. The only sack we got yesterday, we had a big old blitz on, and then we were able to get to him. But Sam Darnold was pretty clean in the pocket yesterday, I thought.
Yeah, not a ton of pressure. Sam kind of moved around a little bit.
Makes it tough for the corners and the defensive backs too, right?
Yeah, without a doubt. They have to get back to it. I think if you go and grade it, or they're going to grade it, they're going to understand by watching the film that the 2 big plays really hurt. The one for 61 to JSN, I mean, that was a nightmare situation. You never want those to happen as a defense. Just the one and done touchdown, and your offense is back up after going 3 and out or whatever that was. Take those out. They played well. I mean, they were 1 for 12 on 3rd down. I mean, you got to love that. I'm sure they love that, and that's something that they can go back and say, look, this is how we play. We expect to play, this sort of football on 3rd down. But what mitigates that and what minimizes that, I should say, is the big plays. I thought they played okay, minus the big shots, those 2 big plays. Overall, I mean, it wasn't a bad game by them if you take away the 2 big shots.
What do you make of Travis Etienne, and now a little bit of a 2-week, I don't want to call it a slump per se, but 24 carries, only 76 yards, and after that, fantastic start. I think he was 2nd in the league in rushing after the first 4 weeks. It's been a bit of a cool down. Fred, I would suppose the same things that were plaguing Trevor Lawrence in the past game as far as the offensive line play were also bleeding into the attempt to run the ball yesterday, because that didn't go well either.
Yeah, yesterday was just by design with the pressure that their defense imposed. Just through everything, they said, look, we're just going to play the run on the way to the quarterback and vice versa. The Jaguars' offense all marries up and look pretty much identical in a sense that, run looks like play action looks like run. If the run isn't working, play action is going to be tough. They had a lot of add-ons. They played a ton of man yesterday, in my assessment. When you buckle you pin your ears back, I would say. And you just say, look, we're going to go. They did a lot of bull rush type rush moves, and it just bled through the run game. So I don't believe it has a lot to do with Travis from an individual standpoint, because he still looked quick when he had an opportunity for daylight. It's just a matter of just not being room. Like, the line hasn't, been as effective as they had shown the first 2 weeks.
All right, I need your opinion on this one. I'm watching. Back to Travis Hunter. I'm watching him yesterday. I think it was like 10-6 late in the first half. He's on Jackson Smith and Jigba. Great player. Gosh, he's really good. And Hunter comes up and hits him on a slant. Boom, ball pops into the air. Our defensive lineman gets it in his mitts, but he can't,
Right.
I don't,
We've got every bounce.
Yeah. So he doesn't get it. But Freddie, it's time to put him at corner. The guy's good. I think he played a lot more against 11 in the second half, and I think he was able to slow down JSN a little bit. I just think I want this kid at corner and then give him some offensive packages.
Hey, look, man. That.
What do you think? What would you do?
What would I do?
You know more than me. You tell me. What do you think?
I get paid to come on here and be Monday morning halfback. I don't get paid the big bucks to make those type of decisions. But I want the kid to have an opportunity to be great. You know, I mean, he just does everything so well, and he does everything right, just as a natural human being. You know, you love the person, you love the man, and you know. But as a player, I want him to be great. Will he get an opportunity to be great, having dual responsibilities? I don't believe so, because it's just not enough time on task.
Right.
But I always felt that he can be more of a dominant corner than receiver. But you also look at situations where he takes a now route, you know, a 2-yard hitch or 3-yard
God, he's
hitch.
beautiful at that.
He
Why don't they get
squares
him
up
in
the
space
defender.
Yeah.
Got to get him in
He
space.
squares up the defender and makes him miss. And I'm sure they're trying to get him the ball in all different sorts of manners, but the game is so tough, man. And
that's tough.
You know, sometimes we look at other teams and say, well, they're finding ways to get 10, 11 targets off to their best player. How can we? Why can't we?
Right.
And even as a, you know, spectator, I sometimes feel the same way. But, you know, I kind of let the game just come to me as well. But, yeah, I would love to see Travis at cornerback full-time. You know, it's not my call. They see stuff every day that I don't see. So it's hard for me to really make that sort of decision because we're seeing 2 plays. We're seeing glimpses, and then we get excited.
Oh, yeah.
And say, well, he should go here. But then he'll turn around and make a defender miss, and every game that he's touched the ball, he's done that. Then we go, well, maybe he should go here because he's making plays when we need those plays on offense. And it's a tough call for the coaches.
You say you love the kid, guys. He had the best line in the post game yesterday. They were talking to Travis, and they said, what do you think about, you ready for the London experience? He goes, I'm not going over there to sightsee. I'm going to play football.
Well, hopefully we see a lot more of them.
I love that. I love that approach for a young kid. Yeah.
I know if it were easy, you would just do it. But this offense needs to evolve into giving him some space plays that the Chiefs find for worthy, and that the Packers are finding for Golden. You've got that piece. You've got
he's such a great athlete.
Man, I mean, this is every week you have a play, but you can't trade everything you traded to get up to number 2 to get a play a week, right?
Right.
That's not enough. He's grading well.
You know, it sounds like those comments sounds like the kid who lived the past 5 or 6 years with a Deion Sanders or something. I mean, just that confidence is through the roof. I mean, he's a smart kid, and he understands the assignment. You know, and regardless of wherever they choose to play him, he's all in. You know, he's not just taking it for granted, thinking, all right, I'm just here to do this because I asked to do this. And I'm pretty sure at some point in time, he's probably going to look at everything and say, you know what, let's buckle down here. But it's so hard, man. You know, and I think if, you know, you look at Montaric Brown, you look at, you know, when Newsom comes along, you know, and then you look at I'm having a brain fart here. I can't think of his name right now.
No, he said Montaric Brown. He said Newsom, Jarian Jones. Oh, Jordan Lewis. Yeah.
So when you look at those guys, that's a really good secondary, right? That's a really good secondary. And then maybe you can put him more at receiver. When do you decide to put him more at cornerback or full-time at cornerback? Because if those guys are looking good, then it's hard to really put him over there full-time. And I think he's been clutch at receivers. It's just a tough decision across the board for me. You know, I don't know where I would put. I mean, if I'm coaching right now, I'm like, well, we need him at offense. I've seen glimpses. We need him at cornerback. I've seen.
I think a little of that goes on too.
Yeah, I mean, it's natural. I would think he's so good. You know, you would just want him. All right, my man. Well, great stuff as always. Boy, off to London. Are you going to London?
Yeah, I'll be heading out to New York tonight, and I'll be headed out to London tomorrow night. Arriving Wednesday and hit the ground running.
All right.
Got some assignments there.
Assignments.
Few pubs, few dinners. Yeah.
Well, we're gonna give you an assignment. Bring back a win. How about that?
Give us a dub.
Hey, if I was out there, I would sure try my best.
That's our guy.
But I'm on cruise control like you guys. I'll be eating some fish and chips minus the fish.
I'm with you on that one, my man.
Thank you, Freddie. Have a great trip. We'll talk to you next week.